to dozens of millions of people, it's the #1 fast food chain in the world. The huge preferred, the best, and from North America to Latin America, from Africa to Europe, and from Asia to Oceania, there are barely countries that don't have one, or sometimes hundreds of McDonald's restaurants in their main cities. With a fabulous presentation and marketing brilliance, only a few are driven to deny that it's a powerful empire. But with more than hundreds of customers served and more than 70 years of existence from its establishment on the 15th of May, 1940 in San Bernardino, California, there had been too many terrifying anecdotes. Although McDonald's quality control is quite high, human errors are inevitable, and some will make you frown in ways you can't imagine. These are the 7 most disgusting things discovered in McDonald's food. Number 7. It's curious because one of the most harmless insects that exist is for the vast majority the most disagreeable and revolting. Imagining it crawling on your leg is an unbearable feeling for many. Now, if it isn't too much trouble, imagine how it must be to find one squashed inside food you previously paid. Unfortunately, it happened to a kid. He was eating his hash brown, a kind of croquette, when suddenly, taking his 3rd bite, between the whiteness of the potatoes, he saw something black and membranous. When shredding the mouthful, to his surprise, and even worse his mother's, he saw the remainders of a cockroach. Not satisfied with the heavy complaint the woman made, the boy, who, to McDonald's pity, had a smartphone camera with lots of megapixels, took a photo of the incident to post it on reddit.com. The repulsive anecdote stayed forever in internet's memory. Number 7. Number 6. Some countries know it as Band-Aid, others as plaster, but it's enough to see the image to know what it is. It isn't something that we particularly associate with something disagreeable, unless, of course, it's been used and has a sticky blood stain. If you're smart, you may know where things are going. Lauren Coleman, a university student, was queuing up to buy some tasty French fries at a McDonald's stand on her campus. On her way to class, absorbed in her own thoughts while eating them one by one, she was taking part in a revolting game of Russian roulette without realizing it. French fry, French fry, French fry, used plaster. She took it out of the packaging and contemplated it in all its imminent, clotted, and bloody splendor. Lauren was infuriated, so much that, instead of taking a photo of the incident, she managed to make it arrive to the press. An unforgettable experience. Number 6. Number 5. Number 5 of this top, being less or more revolting than the previous positions, is a topic of discussion, but it stays the place it is by the terrible way the victim discovered it. Mr. Yusuf Ersil was about to receive a taste of the West's rage. The man bought a complete hamburger and, like the rest of customers, he prepared to eat it comfortably seated at one of the restaurant's tables. Bite after innocent bite, he felt something that got stuck between his teeth, something that, in fact, was hurting his gum and made it bleed a little. The man tried to get rid of the object with his tongue, but it was too rough and hard and it was really stuck. Scared, the man stood up and rushed to the bathroom, and as soon as the mirror showed his best smile, he found out the horror. An enormous human nail, quite filthy to be more detailed, was inside his hamburger and he bumped into it the worst way possible. The man managed to remove the nail, but a second later, he threw up on the sink. And right after, he made a complaint that, obviously, other angry customers made public on internet. Yusuf Ersil was interviewed by the press. It's then when everybody realized that, besides being a nice guy, he has a sense of humor. "I will never eat anything from McDonald's ever again unless my wife forces me to," he declared in front of the cameras. Number 5. Number 4. Some don't understand where the fun is in going to McDonald's to order a salad. In fact, there are people that get annoyed when others do this. Maybe they're pleased to know that this woman received a terrible and unjustified lesson. In 2006, a coach of American football called Todd Haley from Texas ordered a salad at an automac to bring it to his wife. As a good man, he brought lunch to his wife with a fork. What was the surprise of the poor woman? When she ate half of her food, something hairy, black, and dead emerged from the lettuce. as if it got out of a horror film. Perhaps the woman heard the psychosis music when, pushing aside the condiments with the fork, she discovered a dead rat that was wet by the olive oil at the bottom of the container. Husband and wife, furious, went to the restaurant, and to put the icing on the cake, the manager didn't be polite to them, thing that would cost him his job and a big amount of money to the chain. The Haleys sued McDonald's for $1.7 million. McDonald's chose not to argue over the case and come to an agreement privately that, without a doubt, may have the shape of lots of money.
Number 4. Number 3. The number 3 position involves the most popular discovery of them all. In fact, it's likely that you already know it. It started as a kind of urban legend that turned out to be true. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. There is photographic evidence that confirms it, and a real story that even arrived to the press. An Hispanic lady, Catherine Ortega, decided to prepare a pleasant surprise to her children: McDonald's chicken. She bought the packaging in an automac and brought it home. Once there, she set the table and called the children, who expressed their surprise and gratitude for the food. When Catherine placed the contents of the packaging in a tray to serve them, she noticed that one of the pieces had a strange shape, so much that she decided to examine it. When she pulled it out, the whole family's lunch and day got brutally ruined. Like Yusuf, the man of the previous position, Mrs. Ortega declared to the press that from then on, she would only serve food prepared at home. Her children weren't there to declare, but I doubt they would have refuted. Number 3. Number 2. It happened in 2011. Lee Savage, a young Australian boy, lived a scene that will probably follow him for the rest of his life. Little wonder about this, since what he had to stare at, and worse, with him as the main character as it came in his burger, looked like something out of a Freddy Krueger movie. And his luck is so extraordinary as extraordinarily repulsive his discovery was. The boy ordered a double Whopper with pickles. He received his order in the typical McDonald's packaging, and with a soda, he brought it in a tray to his seat. As Lee is a strict person with fast food chains, as he finds himself worthy of the fair right of receiving and demanding for what he pays, he made sure they put the pickles on his burger just as he ordered. This action was probably the biggest stroke of luck of his entire life. At first, he thought the meat was moving. Then, as an insane thought, he thought it was alive. The macabre illusion only lasted for a few seconds to give room to a shocking certainty. The meat was full of worms. The little animals were moving semi-buried in a vision that seemed out of some circle of Dante's hell. Lee Savage held back the impulse of vomiting, but he made an enormous complaint in the accountant. To the chain's luck, he only asked for a few apologies and his money back. Number 2. Number 1. The bad thing about number 1 is that we will never know if it was used. We were never allowed to know it, as it involves a minor and her mother. Understandably, she decided to protect her daughter's privacy. It happened in Switzerland and is linked to the most disgusting anecdote that McDonald's has had through its 70 years of existence. The 7-year-old victim was put at risk because of this, and she had to go through examinations only to discard any risk. The girl received from her mother's hands a box of French fries that she just bought. While she was eating them, the kid, already too late, looked down to see the bottom of the container. There was something strange and transparent rolled up between the broken French fries that were at the bottom. When the little girl, confused and scared, pulled it out, she probably looked at it with confusion, unlike her mother's absolute horror: a condom. As mentioned before, looking at the situation objectively, we will never know if it was used, but everything indicates that it was, as the police appeared at the establishment, and shortly after, the same day, also the Department of Health Services of that city, and the restaurant was shut down. Without a doubt, there wouldn't have been so much fuss for a condom that wasn't used. The rest was solved privately. This anecdote is so repulsive, so nightmarish, as it involves a 7-year-old girl. There's no way it could be funny, but it was real, and it adds to the list of legendary anecdotes of the biggest and most popular fast food chain. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Subscribe to my channel and add me on my social media.
This is Dross, and I wish you enjoy your meal.